Did you know that a lawyer in the 90s is responsible for catapulting the anti-vax movement? Hi, I'm Bella, a pre-med student with a close friend who can't get vaccines, and I've researched this topic for a while to get a better picture of this anti-vax movement. When I began to go deeper to see the roots of the anti-vax movement, I was shocked to see that it was struck into the mainstream by a fraudulent study, and it began with a planned class action lawsuit. The case started in February 1996 when Wakefield was contacted by a compensation lawyer. His name was Richard Barr. He was looking for an expert witness to start a new class action lawsuit about vaccine damage in young children. Then, Dr. Wakefield was hired at £150 an hour to create medical evidence for this case. Wakefield started actively seeking cases that would imply a connection between vaccination and developmental issues. Barr, the lawyer, managed to convince the Legal Aid Board, which is a UK government financial organization, to fund the initial stage of research and assigned £55,000 to the project. All of this research Wakefield and his team did was intended to create evidence for the court case, which was the main reason for its lack of scientific accuracy. It had a bias in the selection of patients and falsification of results. However, this was not known when the study was officially published. In February of 1998, Wakefield and his team published the fraudulent paper in the respected British medical journal, The Lancet. The paper reported on 12 children with developmental disorders, and the parents of 8 of these kids linked their developmental disorders to the MMR vaccine. It led to a sharp decrease in vaccinations and caused momentum for the anti-vax movement, convincing many parents to not give their child the measles vaccine. But this published study didn't just go unnoticed by the scientific community. The CDC, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and the UK National Health Service, among many other research institutions, showed that there was no link between the MMR vaccine and autism. They launched an investigation where other researchers could not duplicate the results of Wakefield's study. The Lancet's editor, Richard Horton, said that the Wakefield study was utterly false and that the journal has been deceived, and fully retracted the article in 2010. On February 8, 2009, an investigative journalist, Brian Deere, reported that Wakefield had fixed results and manipulated patient data in his 1998 paper, creating the appearance of a link with autism. The £55,000 Wakefield had got from the Legal Aid Board was specifically for seeking evidence to use against vaccine manufacturers. Parents quoted as saying that the MMR had damaged their children. They were also litigants in the case, and that Wakefield did not inform colleagues or medical authorities of the conflict of interest in this case. Now that you have the story of how the myth that autism is linked to vaccines, what are the takeaways? Well, in short, it is obvious this large anti-vax movement began with manipulated data, conflict of interest, and payment just to be used as evidence in a court case. Andrew Wakefield was paid to make it look like vaccines have a link to developmental disorders. The scientific community investigated him, and it was all found to be fraudulent. And now, in the end, measles has begun to spread rampantly in the US and the UK. Go to the CDC website or Google MMR vaccine fraud to learn more about details about how this study and the anti-vax movement has led to disease spread. And if it helps you feel any better, on May 24th, 2010, the UK medical organizations found Wakefield guilty of serious professional misconduct and ordered that he be struck off the medical register. So he's not a doctor anymore. But that didn't stop him. He now lives in Texas and directed an anti-vax propaganda film in 2016, where he continues to be an anti-vax activist. Measles and whooping cough were close to being eradicated, but now measles cases have risen 50% since 2016. Stay safe and be well. I hope you learned something today. Thank you.